Okay, so today we are going to connect two things that on the surface seem to have absolutely nothing in common. We've got this really cryptic, kind of glitchy-looking image, and then we have this haunting monologue from a character who feels like, well, like a ghost in their own life. At first glance, no connection. But you're about to see how one is actually a secret message hidden deep inside the other. So, first up, take a look at this. It's this strange blue image, and it's just full of what looks like static, chaotic lines everywhere. So you gotta ask, is this just digital noise, maybe some kind of abstract art, or is there something deliberate hidden in all that chaos? Just keep this image in your head. It's the first big piece of our puzzle.
And now for piece number 2. This line comes from an audio recording. It's basically a confession from a character who lives completely in the shadows. They describe themselves as this hidden presence, someone you'd only even notice when they cause some kind of disruption. You can just feel the themes here, right? Concealment, danger, and a really fractured sense of self.
So this is it. This is the central mystery we're diving into. How on earth could this piece of digital noise and this dark, really personal story, how could they possibly be connected? Well, that's exactly what we're here to figure out.
All right, let's start by digging into that audio monologue. What's so interesting is that the character isn't really telling a story about things that happened. It's a story about a complete and total loss of self. They're trying to put into words what it feels like to be a ghost in your own life.
At the very heart of this confession is this profound identity crisis. I mean, they straight up say it. No memories, no identity. They feel like they're just wearing a mask, totally disconnected from who they might have been before. And that feeling, that sense of being a phantom, is what lets them commit these illegal actions and then just vanish. Because, in their own mind, were they ever really there to begin with?
And this phrase is just so powerful, isn't it? They don't just feel like a ghost. They see their whole life, their entire existence, as a ghost story. It's just the perfect metaphor for their invisibility, their lack of a past, and this haunting, unseen presence they have in the world.
So, we have this character who feels totally unseen, hidden beneath the surface of things. And believe it or not, that exact same idea applies to our mysterious blue image. To find its secrets, we've got to look underneath its surface too. And to do that, we're going to need a couple of really cool tools. So, the first tool is called a spectral view, or a spectrogram. The easiest way to think about it is like a prism, but for sound. Instead of splitting light into a rainbow of colors, it splits a sound into all of its different frequencies, the highs and the lows, and it displays them as an image. You are literally seeing the sound.
Now, the second idea is a little more complex, but honestly, it's the real key to this whole thing. It's called out-of-phase audio. So, imagine you've got two identical sound waves, but you flip one of them completely upside down. When you play them together, they can actually cancel each other out, creating silence. But the magic is in what gets canceled. By analyzing that silence, you can reveal hidden details. It's kind of like a sonic X-ray that shows you what's buried underneath. A hidden signal, a masked identity. You see where this is going, right? This technical concept of an out-of-phase signal is a perfect mirror for how the character describes themselves. They feel distorted, concealed, with their true self hidden away under a mask. The technology and the psychology are literally reflecting each other. It's wild.
And all of this leads us to the big question. If we use these tools, if we take a spectral view of the out-of-phase audio from our character's monologue, what are we going to find? What is the hidden message that this sonic X-ray is about to reveal?
Okay, this is it. This is the moment where everything clicks into place. We've looked at the audio, we've looked at the technology, now let's see what happens when we put them together. And there it is, the big reveal! That mysterious blue image from the very beginning? It's not an abstract drawing. It's not noise. It is the sound. It's the spectral view of the character's monologue. The two pieces of our puzzle, they were the same thing all along. But wait, there's something more. You have to look really closely. Down at the bottom of the image, scrawled right into the frequencies of the audio itself, there's a hidden message. It says, "Product of the system." This is the secret that was buried in the machine. And that single phrase, it changes everything. Suddenly, the character's internal chaos, their lost identity, their violence, it's not just some personal tragedy. This message implies that it's all a direct consequence, maybe even an intended result, of some larger external system. This reveal forges this incredibly chilling connection between the character's personal hell and the cold, hard technical data. The two aren't just linked anymore. They are perfect reflections of each other.
I mean, when you lay it all out like this, the parallels are they're undeniable. The character's emotional state has a direct technical counterpart. Their feeling of having no identity, that's literally the out-of-phase, fragmented signal. Their illegal actions, stamped right there with the label product of the system. Even their talk about devil's luck feels like a perfect metaphor for these invisible, hidden forces buried deep in the sound itself.
So, in other words, the character isn't just telling us their story. Their own voice is literally carrying the evidence of that story within its technical DNA. Their fragmented self is encoded, line by line, directly into the sound waves. And that brings us to what might be the most tragic line in the entire monologue. The character gets it. They recognize this profound duality inside themselves. The very things that could be their gifts are also the source of their curse. This isn't just a story about a system creating a monster. It's about a person who is trapped inside that creation, and they are painfully aware of their own internal war. And that leaves us with one final, pretty heavy question. The audio and the image, they force us to look beyond just this one person. If a person's violence and confusion and fractured identity can be literally labeled a product, then we have to ask, what kind of system creates a product like that? And what responsibility does that system have for the ghosts it leaves behind?